Silin Wang, Zhiqi Shen Yiwen Cai Voice of Architecture 2023.
An echo to the Sense design by Silin Wang, Zhiqi Shen Yiwen Cai.
Can you please introduce yourself and share a bit about your background in architecture and/or design?
Hi, I'm Silin. My teammates are Zhiqi and Yiwen. They will introduce themselves later, so I start with myself first. I've just finished my bachelor degrees of design in architecture. I have enthusiasms for exploring the relationship between nature, culture, humanity, and architecture. I'm also studies the historical and cultural backgrounds of Aboriginal Australians and design several projects about them at university. Besides, I'm really keen on drawing photographs that deepens my understandings of space, colors, lighting, contributing to my expertise on architecture.
Hi, I'm Zhiqi. I am an architecture graduate from China. During my school years, I've participated in many China rural architecture design competitions and get good results. In the process, I gained a lot of experience and knowledge about the construction of rural buildings. In my daily life, I'd like to capture the beautiful moments with my camera, and I believe that the significance of photography is the same as architecture, which can bring warmth and touch to people.
Hi everyone, I'm Cai Yiwen. I'm sorry I have a little problem with my left eye. Now I'm going to be a 5th grade architecture student next semester and planning to study abroad after graduation. I believe that architecture is a language that penetrates into the life of each person and designers themselves. It is like the human senses, which serves as a receiver and also a transmitter between inner self and outer self. I am interested in observing the emotion and mental changes wrought by this language as an architect, and I hope to keep practicing with the use of this language in my continuous design.
What inspired you to participate in the Aural Architecture 2023 design competition?
Actually, we came on these Aural Architecture design competitions online by chance. What drew our attention mostly is about the music demos and the explorations of master to interpret the sound tracks. Because all of us have never done any design project related to the connection between music and architecture, we think it would be an extremely interesting experience to study the audio visualization and the transactions of architecture elements.
Could you provide a brief description of your winning design? What were the key elements and concepts you incorporated?
Our project, An Echo to the Scenes, is designed based on the music piece The Introverts by Michael Corbin. By using our ordinary scenes to create abstract architecture space that anticipates our understandings of emotions in this music. The introvert invokes various different emotions and memories, especially the themes Manchester by the Sea, which centers around the themes of depression, guilt, grief, and healings. The plot of the movie presents many similar emotions we feel from the song Introverts. They are greatly convince the complexity of the human emotions and diverse of the expression. To respond to the music piece, one of the settings from the film, Manchester by the Sea in Boston, is picked as the size in our project. In this project, we use the audio visualization modules in Grasshopper to transform different volumes, which will be discussed in detail later. By audio visualization, we explore the connections between music, emotion, and architecture. Every architectural space in this project exhibits an emotions of itself, creating diverse and powerful atmosphere. Visitors could immerse themselves to experience different levels of emotion changes and gain the healing benefits as well. We hope people who are in a bad or negative moods, like the leading characters in the film, to get more courage and overcome the emotions after visiting the architecture.
What research methods did you employ to understand the relationship between architecture and sound?
We explore the connection between music, emotion, and architecture space through audio visualization. So audio visualization was carried out with the help of GH, and the emotional symbols corresponding to different architecture elements were extracted. Ultimately, we strung together spaces to form a short journey of strolling.
Were there any particular sources or case studies that influenced your design?
Peter Zumthor attaches great importance to the sensory experience brought by architecture. He once said, "Space will not respond to your sight, but it will reflect your voice." His designs for the spa baths in Walls, Switzerland, and the Church of St. Benedict have inspired much of our architecture language.
How has participating in this competition and winning affected your perspective on the importance of sound in architecture and design?
When people walk into an architecture, they may savor the charm of the space through the five senses. Sounds as one of the five senses. On one hand, we construct architecture space by using the information in sound. On the other hand, we complement our senses by traveling through different architecture spaces.
Have you discovered any new passions or areas of interest through the process of designing for aural architecture?
It is no doubt that there are still many possibilities waiting to be explored in the field of auditory architecture design. For example, adding interactive sounds device in building to provide deaf people with a possibility to perceive the world, and combining the other sense to promote the generation of architecture space.
What advice would you give to aspiring designers who are interested in exploring aural architecture or entering similar competitions?
In this design process, we realize that inspiration often comes from communication and collision of sound. Whether it is the combination of architecture space and audio information, for the collision in communication, all of them play a great role in the process.
Based on your experience, what are the key elements that make a design stand out in a competition of this nature?
I hope people can fully explore the energy of combining the knowledge of different fields together, both in auditory architecture design and further practice. What's more, I also believe that teammates with complementary skills, good communication, and cooperation are indispensable for a design.
How does it feel to win the Aural Architecture 2023 design competition? Any final thoughts or messages you would like to share with the audience?
I think it's a really interesting and enjoyable design experience. This award gave me more confidence on architecture, and it's regarded as a new step for me to explore music and building. I'm also so glad to meet my nice teammates, and we cooperate closely in the planning and designing the project. I think I learned a lot from my teammates during the brainstorming. It's a really nice cooperation.
For winning the first prize in this competition, I feel the inclusiveness and attractiveness of the field of architecture as a discipline. I hope that everyone will enjoy the journey with architecture and enjoy the process.
I'm very lucky to have met my two teammates through this chance, and it is fortunate to have gotten such a satisfying result while experiencing an enjoyable design process. I'm thankful that this award has inspired me to express my design concepts, and I'm looking forward to design something even more stirring in the future.
For latest architecture competitions visit Archiol competitions.